Pabst Blue Ribbon. Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer. Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I have got what is an American icon. It is Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. Now when I say an American icon, it's not really. It's not like Budweiser and Miller and all them big American beers. But this is really well known and it's got a cult following. And it was massive. Originally, the owners of this brewery came over as immigrants from Germany into Chicago in the 1800s, late 1800s. And they produced beer. And at one point, this was the best-selling beer in America. And it's sort of continued to grow all through the sort of early 20th century, etc. It was called a few names before this, but it got the name Blue Ribbon from the actual blue ribbon that was tied around the bottles. And it sold really well. And then came the 1980s and the sales started to decline to the point where it was not doing well at all. And then a revival came about for some reason. That was in the sort of early 2000s, and the so-called hipsters took to it because it was cheap, and it just grew from there. And if you look at regardless of the quality of the beer, I'll get onto the quality of the beer in a bit, but if you look at what they're doing, I mean, if ever you want an exercise in marketing, then you should look at these people, where they've done it. I mean, you look at their website and they only actually brew lager, variations of lager. They do a stronger one, they do an alcohol-free one, but they also do them other things like hard coffee. Have you heard of that? Hard coffee. It's like a coffee with alcohol in it. And they do the hard seltzers, or basically fucking alco pops. They do them as well. But they do one thing, and I don't know whether to be annoyed or intrigued. They call it hard tea. Now don't get me wrong, I'm a tea drinker. I love tea. Not a massive fan of coffee, but tea is what I drink. And the thought of putting alcohol into tea, I know the jocks do it with the scotch and whatnot, but I've never been into that. Tea should taste like tea. It shouldn't be messed with. But that's for another thing. I'm going off topic here. Let's get back to the beer. But they do that, if you know what I mean. If you look at the merch site, I mean, the t-shirts there, it's like a fucking fashion parade. But they sponsor a lot of things. They sponsor a lot of art. They do a lot of fan art, which they're going to be putting on the cans. They're going to be limited editions, maybe worth something if you're interested in that sort of thing. But they also do sponsor festivals as well. But a good thing they do is they sponsor what's known as dive bars. And they're basically sort of run down bars or bars with a bad reputation, and they sort of sponsor them. And to be honest, that's the sort of place I like drinking, really, but that's just me. Give me one of them any day of the week, as opposed to a gastro pub, or even some tap rooms. I mean, tap rooms are fucking full of ponces. Anyway, let's steer out of this cul-de-sac and get back to the beer. Right, this is a 330ml bottle. It is lager. It is 4.6%. There is the can. I don't know if you can see that or not. Sorry about the lighting and the way this is all set up, but this is the best I can do. There's the can. I've actually tried some of this. I was in, where was that? That was Chicago. I was in Chicago a couple of years ago, and I wanted a couple of fridge fillers. You know, I mean, I was visiting a lot of the bars. I was working over there, but I was visiting a lot of the bars in the evening and all that. But I just wanted something in the fridge, you know, have a cup before you go out, and then, you know, gives you a bit of a livener and all that. And I got a few of these, and to be honest, it didn't really make an impression on me. I can't remember. I never really analysed it that much. It was a fridge fillet. It was freezing cold. The fridge I had was freezing cold. It probably killed a lot of the flavours. So this is going to be a sort of revisiting it. So let's stop guessing and let's get it open. on the nose, out of the can. Nothing. Very faint lemon citrus and very faint malt, but there's hardly anything there. So let's get it into the glass. Maybe we can get more out of the glass. Now, as I say, this is an American beer, and this is from the era when American beer wasn't great. So yeah, I need to take that into consideration. But what I do remember from them, this was cheap. I mean, really cheap, to the point where I bought a load because it was so cheap, and I just threw it in the fridge. And it was a nice sort of palate cleanser, or one to get you sort of in the mood. There it is in the glass. Masses and masses of carbonation, no head whatsoever, flat as a witch's tit, and the carbonation is absolutely mental. It is a golden colour, golden straw colour on the nose out of the glass. Honestly, nothing. I can't get anything out of that at all. Oh well, let's get it down the hatch. Cheers. It's more or less how I remember it. A very, very plain lager. Cold, refreshing, some lemon citrus, touch of bready malt on the house end of it, and quite a big sort of lemony aftertaste on it as well. And as I say, it's your typical macro brewed beer. It is cheap, but if you buy it over here, it is not cheap. I think that was over £2 a can. I think got it from Beers of Europe. Can't remember, but it's on there. Yeah, I wouldn't buy it over here. There'd be no point. There's so many better beers. But if you're in America, then yeah, this could be your go-to fridge filler for America, because it's so cheap. It was under $1 a can, and they were big. I think they were 500ml cans. It was almost a pint. I think it was a third of a pint glass in the hotel, and I was filling it up, and there was always a little bit left over. But yeah, I mean, it's in keeping with all the other American beers, really. Well, no, I lie. That's better than Budweiser. It's better than Miller. It's better than Coors. It's got a little bit more flavour to it, but not a great deal. And yeah, you know, that can is becoming quite legendary. You see it in a lot of films now. They even have it in South Park as well. I've seen it a few times in South Park, but I've seen a few films where they're drinking this, and I don't know whether it's product placement or what, but yeah, it's just a lager. It's just a run-of-the-mill, average, nondescript lager. So what's the verdict? I can see its appeal because it's cheap, and if you drink it really cold, this would be really nice. It's refreshing. If you want flavour, don't go for this. If you want refreshing, go for this. And you want cheap refreshing, go for this. There's nothing bad about it. You know, there's no horrible metallic taste of it. There's no dodgy flavours. It's in a can, so it's not going to go skunky. And you know, it's got more going for it than it hasn't. But you know, does it stand up against other lagers? No, of course it doesn't. I'm not even going to start comparing it to German lagers. I'm not even going to start comparing it to, you know, good lagers, even some lagers from America. It is mass produced and cheap, and it does the job. It will just, on a hot day, it's okay. Maybe with a meal, with a barbecue, yeah, fill your boots. But I wouldn't go out my way to buy it. There's much better beers out there, much better lager out there. As I say, if you want to pay extra, you're going to get much more flavour. You're more or less getting what you paid for here. You're getting a cold, fizzy, lager flavoured drink. And that's what it is. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I'll give it a 6.5. But yeah, the only thing it's got going for it, as I say, is its price. It's cheap. But not over here. If you're in America, fill your boots. And remember, beer is working class champagne.